Here we are sitting here tonight with Ryan. And Ryan, I appreciate you coming here, brother.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've listened to the show since, I came in 14, so
yeah, you were an OG then. Are you? Is that right?
One of them, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because mentorship is like a big deal for me.
Yeah,
and just because of sports too. And then I just went on Google, or I was looking for a podcast. Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. I don't know. I'm trying to think how many we've had that came in that were part of the original crew that listened from day one type of thing. And I would say you're probably the third one that's actually been on the show from everybody who started with us in the very beginning. And I'll tell you that we used to do like backflips when we got like 15 downloads and 50 downloads. I mean, when we reached 100, it was like we were partying. And so, I mean, this is an honor to have you sitting here then and being one of the original people that listened with us and to us and stuck with us as long as you have.
Yeah.
So really appreciate that.
I'm glad to be here.
Plank holder listener.
Man, I'm telling you.
Nice.
That's really awesome. So where's home originally? I know you came from out west, but where's home?
Yeah. Born in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
Washington State.
Just a different part of West. Yeah. Okay.
But raised in Medical Lake, Washington. No one will know. It's no stoplights. I grew up on a dairy farm, about 500-acre dairy farm.
Wow.
Yeah. We had 200 cows. Like, I think I was the third or fourth generation farmer. Obviously I'm here because I didn't get to farm. That's a whole nother thing, because there's no more farm. It got burned to the ground.
Oh, from the Palisade?
There was a wildfire that came through 2022, 23.
Okay.
Burned the whole thing down. All of it. Yeah. But before that, grandparents owned it, sold it, parceled it out for, I can't remember. I think they wanted like $7 million and they got maybe $1 million. Big ordeal, family, huge thing. So
that sucks.
Farm doesn't exist.
Were you hoping to like maybe keep it in the family name and get it back at some point?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, it's always still there. But it brought so much grief and drama and trauma to everybody. And now that I'm going through what I'm going through, and I guess we'll get into that, but I'm learning that all of this stuff that I went through on the farm is not just me, it's generational.
Yeah.
And my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, they all dealt with the same things, and no one really fixed it. And so it's on me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Medical Lake, Washington, I was a 12-year senior. I didn't leave town. But sports got me out.
So what was it? You were playing baseball?
Yeah, I was a 3-sport athlete. Most of the small town kids were.
Yeah.
But my dad, he was all about basketball and football. I wasn't really a baseball guy. Middle school, 7th grade, I met my PE teacher, Chris Spring, and to this day, he's a father figure. But I was going to stop playing baseball. I was like, nah, this is boring. And he was like, hey, come here. Pulled me in his office. And I remember sitting down with him, and I was feeling pressured. And he was like, I hear you're going to quit baseball. I was like, yeah, that's not very fun. And he was like, give me one year. Give me 1 year. If you do good, you can go back and play more, or you can stop. I was like, all right, fair enough. What else am I going to do? And so I played. Turns out I was pretty good. We went undefeated that whole, and it was middle school, right? But pretty good.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love. And from that point on, baseball was my thing. And I kind of said, screw basketball and football. But I did them in high school still. But yeah, baseball took me to junior college, then to 4-year college. And then I ripped my shoulder. I tore 2 muscles in my shoulder, my rotator cuff, rehabbed it, went down to Yuma, Arizona, played a independent minor league system for a month. And then I didn't make it from there. And then I went back, and I guess that's when I started coaching. But I've always been involved in baseball for like forever.
Were you a pitcher?
Mhm.
I was about to ask, what's your position?
Yeah, I was a pitcher. I mean, I played outfield, pitcher, first base.
Center?
I mean, I was a really good hitter too. I loved hitting.
Center's in football, Rob.
No, center field.
I was kidding. I was kidding. I know you're a sports fan. I was just kidding.
Once you get to college, most of the coaches want you to start to really hone in on one thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna be a pitcher, and I loved it. Like I'm a pitching coach by heart now. I'm a head coach now, but I gravitate towards pitchers.
Yeah.
But
how many times have you had to like have it cleaned out and
my shoulder?
Yeah.
2.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
So I tore my infraspinatus and my supraspinatus, and then I tore my lat right here too. That was sophomore year.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
in high school. Yeah. So my whole
launching baseballs.
my whole sophomore year in high school, I didn't throw. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Damn. You know.
I bet you had a wicked curveball though.
I did.
Yeah.
Because I was a 12-6 guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of this happens.
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw.
Damn.
You watch a lot of the I watch a lot of pitching videos. I played I don't want to take away from your story, but I love baseball. I played third base most of my time playing baseball, and it was fun. Always wanted to be a pitcher, just never had the control. But I love watching like social media. They have the pitching coaches out there, and now they do all the movement of the ball and distance and rotation. It's turned scientific.
Analytics.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Great. It's nuts. Yeah. It's amazing the difference that, because I trained pitchers. We did pitching coach stuff in 2013 before I joined the Navy. And then I started up again this past year, and I have all this technology at my hands. I worked with a high school kid, and I got this app on my phone now, and it's literally telling me every little angle.
Yeah.
What? Where was this 10 years ago?
Yeah.
It would have been dangerous 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If you think about the quality of pitchers they had, and that you could just tweak something. Hey, you're dropping too fast before you. It's wild.
Well, it took a while for Al Gore to develop the internet and then for apps to come along. So, it
was wonderful having you.
All right. So you're out there in baseball. You've already finished college and everything. And how did you hear about going into the military? Were you doing ROTC?
No. So my uncle, I come from a military family.
Oh, okay. So when you said farmers, I was thinking.
So that's my dad's side. My mom's side, majority of them are military. My grandfather was Air Force. Uncle was Air Force. Uncle was Navy. I think there was another Air Force in there.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But the one big one was my uncle, who was 26 years in the Navy, Command Master Chief. Like, if he would have stayed in, he probably would have been the MCPON. Like, he was going that far. And so I was told, you suck at pitching, you're done. I was like, that sucks. Like, you have to hear that.
Thanks.
Right. But there's more to it. I love baseball, but at the same time, at that moment, it was in Yuma, Arizona. Remember that, because that's a pivotal point. But that was the first time I saw a needle. I saw steroid use. I saw the illegal stuff happening, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't feel like a kid's game to me anymore.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I could get the chills kind of thinking about it, because I remember like it was yesterday. And that was kind of when I started to know there were other things in there. Like, I'd have conversations with my wife when I was down there, and I'd like, in my head, I'd know I was done, but I couldn't accept it. But anyways, we go back, I start coaching. I hadn't graduated college yet. I took a year off, because back then there was no transfer portal. Right? That sucks. And credits.
No NIL.
No. Yeah. Credits don't transfer.
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, I got to go to school. I really didn't want to, but my grandmother, who is a huge person in my life, she wanted me to. And I said, okay, all right, I'll go. And so I go back and finish my super senior year. I got a bachelor's in kinesiology. I was going to be a PE teacher. I was like, I'm not staying in school another year. So I just got a kinesiology degree. Personal training jobs, that's cool.
kinesiology is not an easy degree though. Like,
It wasn't.
no, I mean,
It was cool.
and for people to think, I mean, and you're not the first person to say that, but at least you've gone through it. You can say like kinesiology is no punk.
No, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But it's so hard. Well, back then in 2012, 13, like being a personal trainer was cool and all, but like you had to have 3 different side hustles to actually make ends meet for your family.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, I'd get a job and then it just wouldn't pay the bills. I mean, we were on food stamps. We were on WIC. We were bouncing from house to house, apartment to apartment, living in low-income housing, just trying to make ends meet and barely doing it. I mean,
College grad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a time where in like vulnerable as hell right now, but there was a time where I stole money just to pay gas in my vehicle.
Wow.
And that was, gas prices were extremely high in Washington State, right? Like everybody knows California, Oregon, Washington, they're going to be higher.
Yeah.
And so I paid the price for that one. I can't remember what happened. It was like I owed something with like unemployment, like a $2,000, just whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got out of my moral compass and I had to do something illegal to live. And so that was kind of when I kind of saw things falling apart. Like I even moved my family. I mean, my wife and I had been married a year, maybe 2 kids, 1 just born. I had a job opportunity in Kansas. That's her grandma was there. And I just took it. I saw an opportunity.
What was it for?
It was for a fitness center director. So I was already a fitness center director at the time.
Same industry then. That's what I was
thing.
wondering.
Yeah, same thing. And I was like, okay, like we have family there.
Yeah.
And, a place to live, a place to go, easy transition. I get there and we tap into our credit cards. We tap into our, our tax return, all of it.
America.
Just to get there. And I go there first and I get there and they're like, no, we gave the job away to someone else.
Damn.
I was like, you fucking kidding me?
What?
Yeah. And so then I said, okay, like I'm here now. I'm staying with my grandma-in-law and I finally get a sales job at a gym in Olathe, Kansas.
I know where that's at.
And sure enough, Amanda and the kids come. And we're there for summer and don't make ends meet still. I ended up working at like a farm and then Bass Pro Shop. Let's be real, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. No. I was going to say that was probably pretty sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. Discounts for?
Yeah. I actually was an idiot and bought a ton of stuff thinking I had a discount, but realizing I didn't have a lot of money to spend. So I completely was a dumbass. Like I put our family in complete debt. My wife said, we're not doing this anymore. We're going back to Washington. You're selling all your hunting stuff. You're selling anything you can to give us money to get us back to Washington. We get back there. She says she's staying in Spokane, which is Eastern Washington. And I went to Western Washington to be with I lived with my mom, my sister. I got a personal training job. And I said, enough is enough. I'm going to do what I can to not, lose everything what means the most to me. And so then that's when I reached out to my uncle and he said, go talk to the Navy. Technically, I went and talked to the Air Force first in Kansas and they said, you're too fat. And I was like, really? All right. But I was 260. Like I was drinking a ton, eating.
What's your height again?
6'4".
260. But I mean, you probably wore it well. I mean, what was the no? Okay. I'm trying to look out for you here.
No, God, you're killing me.
No, not even. Like it was. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped working out. In my mind, I was like, I've been training my whole life. Like I've been literally training my whole life. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna drink as much alcohol as I can. I'm gonna feel sorry for myself because I can't get a job or I can't keep a job. yeah, it just kind of boiled over.
I can relate. So, I mean, it's exactly what happened when I got out. You know, quarter of a century doing PT and watching what you eat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shit.
Happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got pissed at the Air Force. I said, all right. On a Saturday, I was just all up in my head, which is going to be like the moral of this story. But I was all up in my head, and I was sitting on the balcony in my mom's apartment, and I texted my uncle. His name's Billy. And I just text Uncle Billy, and I was like, hey, like, what do I do? Like, I need to do something. And he was like, I don't know, just call him. It's Saturday. It's like, all right. So I called him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't remember his name, but he was a second class goofy dude. But he was like, hey, you wanna come on in?
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, man. At this point, let's go. So I did, and I mean, from that point on, I didn't make weight at the time, but he had the program set up for me, and I mean, I knew how to work out. Like, I was pretty elite athlete, I'd consider. And I just kind of got back into it. I was personal training. I'd live at the gym. Like, I was there from 5 a.m. to probably 8 p.m. If I wasn't training people, I was training myself. I was swimming. I'm a self-taught swimmer. I got into the SEAL SWIC program. Didn't have the courage to go through with it. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, I lost, I got down to like 212 was the lowest. I mean, just complete shredded.
I was gonna say it's pretty lean for 6'4".
Swimming. I mean, swimming. What?
Swimming.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I never was.
Tones your whole body.
Oh my goodness. Just 30 minutes of it. So now, like, going through the med board process, I swim a lot because it's low impact. My back doesn't hurt from the car accident, and my neck doesn't hurt. My hips don't hurt. My knees don't hurt, but I can still swim. So yeah, 2014, April 9th, 2014. That's when I joined the Navy.
And what did you initially sign up for?
What you mean, job wise?
Yeah.
So I was trying to be a corpsman
Okay.
because of my kinesiology degree, but they said you'd have to wait 11 months. So you'd be in the, what is it called? The delayed entry
program.
The delayed entries program. 11 months. And I said, no, I have a wife and 2 kids and a wife who's literally like on the verge of leaving me. No, I need to provide for my family.
They were giving you at least E3 or what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of your
qualification.
Yeah. And then one of the guys in the office, so they offered me that, and then boatswain's mate.
I was gonna say like machinist mate or something crazy.
Whatever the one that ships me. No thanks. I knew I wanted to be with the Marine Corps. Like, I knew that going into it because I was all like hyped up on corpsman. So then I go sit down because I said no to both of those, absolutely not. And I remember his face. He looks out and he's like, hey, what about an RP? And I was like, what's an RP, dude? Like, I don't know this. And so I pull out my phone that I wasn't supposed to have at MEPS. And I Google it. And the first thing I see is works with chaplains, tons of weapons training, Greenside RP, Marine Corps. And I said, yes. And he said, you're in the DEP program for 24 days. And I was like, sign me up. Like, let's go. And yeah, loved it. I loved it. It was life-changing.
So what exactly did that MOS do?
So I got 4 years. So it's a chaplain assistant, but
Okay,
yeah.
chaplain assistant, yeah.
Yeah, what is it called? A religious program specialist?
Okay,
sure.
No,
I don't know.
Sure,
I don't know. They change. I don't know.
Right.
Chaplain assistant, yeah. And I was fortunate enough to do really good at A school, AIT, and I got to pick. And so I 100% picked Marine Corps. But first duty station was Yuma, Arizona.
I'll be damned.
So where one dream ends, the other one starts.
Marine Corps Yuma, Arizona doesn't like compute with me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
So it's Marine Corps Air Station Yuma.
okay.
So that is where the F-35s were. Yeah. So in 2014, when the F-35s were starting to roll out, that's where they'd go.
I was thinking you're going to say like Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, they got live fire ranges and everything because we used to train down there.
Yeah, then no, it makes sense now. Dang.
I've ruck marched that area. It was horrible. Yeah, it was 25 miles.
Exactly what you're talking about.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. So, yeah, Yuma, Arizona.
Was that like a gut punch when they told you you're going to Yuma?
A little bit, but that's when my faith journey kind of hit me in the, like punched me in the face. Because I was like, okay, there's something bigger here that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, because I almost completely lose everything that I love. And then, you know, slowly start coming back to having this life. And all of a sudden my family gets sent to the one place, right? Like, to me, that's like, okay, like I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on here?
And your chaplain's assistant. So of course you're speaking with the man directly.
Right. Like it all was just starting to line up for me, but it's still, I had a hard time hearing. I mean, it took a lot. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff happened in Yuma.
Yeah, well, Yuma's pretty, it's good because they got the free fall school there.
Oh, yeah.
The installation isn't bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you went down there? That's the question.
I enlisted at 27.
Okay. Oh, but you're still young. As a man, you're still young. At 27, you still, buy hunting gear, even though you got to put food on the table. I mean, those decisions, you're hard on yourself. We all make, I probably make those decisions now, right? But, I mean, 27, Yuma, new start, fresh look on faith. It's not bad. You're still young.
Yeah. Still got kicked in the nuts, though, a few times.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
What was training with the Marines like?
Loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the sailor who embodied that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a sailor and you go with the Marine Corps, you have the option of going Marine Corps regs. And if you sign that, you got to wear their haircut. You have to go by their height and weight. You've got to do everything with them. The CFDs, like all of it. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, if I'm going to have to serve with you, deploy with you, do everything with you, like, I don't want to be treated any different.
Mm-hmm.
And they appreciated that. I mean, rolled my sleeves up. I took so much pride in how I rolled my sleeves, and my uniform, like it was spot on. The culture was wonderful. I mean, everybody just was there, same path. And I say that only because now I have something to compare it to.
Yeah.
With 2 years NSW and then another 6 years with the Army. It's like I can look back on those 4 years with the Marine Corps and be like, damn, that culture, like, that's a thing. That culture that they have there, it's just not something that's anywhere else that I've experienced. So, yeah.
Well, his son's Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So completely understands. It was the branch that I actually considered going into right out of high school and such. I think they do a really good job of not only selling themselves in terms of a military branch, but they do create that family environment. And it's a smaller branch of the service, but less than 200,000, I think it still is. And so, it's really unique in that aspect.
Yeah, it was good. That's where, so in Yuma though, that's where we started to kind of see things play out with our family. So like our oldest child, she's 16 now, but that's where we started to see the autism and the EFMP stuff kind of come out. We didn't really know what to do. Like we're I get say young parents, but that whole world itself with special needs is so difficult because you just don't know. Like, you just don't know.
How old was she at that time frame?
How old was she?
Yeah, she was like 4 or something.
Kindergarten.
Okay.
So it was in kindergarten where we started to really see it. Like, 5, 6 years old, and she's still having controllable accidents in class.
Yeah.
Meltdowns. She stabbed a kid with a pencil. We had CPS called on us twice. It's like, really? And so that's kind of when it all played out. Then we get orders to Little Creek, Virginia, go to NSW Group 4, which was phenomenal because like SOCOM will just take care of you without even asking for permission. If you need something, there it is. But we couldn't get housing. We were stuck in a hotel for 3 months on Little Creek, and wife was pregnant with baby number 4. And then oldest kiddo was having meltdown after meltdown. And it was to the point where the safety of Amanda and unborn child were a thing. And we ended up calling the MFLAC, the Military Family Life Counselor for Group 4. And they start seeing her. And then we end up getting plugged into Portsmouth, the Naval Hospital. And that's where she got diagnosed. So she got,
what was that like? Sean just knocked over, if you heard that. Sean just knocked over his Pepsi.
What I call it.
What was that like when you heard that? Was it like, oh, okay, now at least we have confirmation of what we've been thinking and all of that? Or what kind of went on there?
Yes and no. So I didn't like hearing it.
Yeah.
I mean, because for the longest time I didn't want it. This sounds, I don't mean to sound ignorant. It's going to sound ignorant, but I didn't want to be a parent of a special needs child.
Yeah.
And that was awful of me to think, but it was true. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat or hide it, but
you're human. You have thoughts. I mean, it's okay.
I'm sure that coincided with a lot of why us, why me. I mean,
yes.
You've been through a lot at that point.
That statement right there has been going through my mind for probably the past 4 weeks. But I was glad because now we can get the help we need.
Yeah.
But there were still times where I was in denial about it. And I refused the help that was there. Right. And so, we get to EFMP, the EFMP program, which the Navy's EFMP program was phenomenal.
For those that don't know, that's a exceptional family member program.
Yes.
So EFMP, and it's mandatory screening. I forget the eaches of it, but I mean, it's very well taken care of. Hopefully you guys receive the help that you need through that program.
Yeah, the Navy's was good. I mean, it was great. And I think being NSW had something to do with it.
Yeah, so special operations, yeah.
And everything happens just so fast.
Yeah.
And it just was very smooth. But then still I had this itch to do more. And like, I guess I'll fast forward a little bit because like right now I'm going through EMDR program. We can get into that, but I'm learning that throughout my time on the farm and through athletics as a child, I had a lot of trauma from my father, and it stemmed this thought in my head that I'm not good enough. And so I'm constantly trying to prove a point to everybody in everything that I do, including my marriage, including being a father, including the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, including as an athlete and a coach. And with this EFMP stuff, the signs were there, but I sometimes refused to see them and to listen to them because I thought I could fix it on my own as a father, and I couldn't. And that put tension with my wife and I, and it's not easy. And so, now she's gone through, it could be a different diagnosis now. Like they're throwing schizophrenia out there. They're throwing bipolar out there. And for the longest time I said, no way, nah. And my wife said, yes, absolutely. And I refused to listen. And I got to see it firsthand for the past 2 months. And now she's going back for her 3rd round of it's called RTC, residential treatment care. It's long-term. It's a long-term care facility.
Inpatient.
Yep. She's she just finished her partial hospitalization program because she'll just wake up and have suicidal ideations. Yeah, all the time. And so we had to make a choice because it's either keep the family safe, keep the other kids safe. There's 3 other kids, or keep trying. In my case, keep trying to fix it myself when it wasn't working. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at with her.
That's huge.
No, it is huge. And just to kind of go back a little bit, I can relate in full transparency with the challenge of having a very demanding father who also told me I wasn't good enough in everything I did, that I didn't realize was causing some of my damage until it actually hit about the time frame we started this podcast, to be honest with you, as I went through some stuff. And it's something you don't realize that affects you so much in life. But some of that early trauma is definitely something that a lot of people deal with. And as a matter of fact, you take that and then you take post-traumatic stress from combat. It's a double whammy, for a lot of people. Really, really affects those individuals. So
yeah,
you were dealing with a lot. Not at this time frame, you had all 3 kids, or 3 other kids as well. So 4 at that time frame while you were at NSW and the Naval Special Warfare, and special needs child while you were probably E4 at this point?
Brand new E5.
Brand new E5. Still not making a lot of damn money.
No, so my wife was making her soap. Like, she was making cleaning products out of vinegar, and it was disgusting. I hated the smell of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how poor we were.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to try to deal with. I don't care what age you were. Sure, you were a lot more mature than, say, the person that comes in at 17 or even 21. But the fact that you're having to deal with all of this, yeah, very, very challenging.
And it happens in the enlisted ranks more than people know.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I was stationed Fort Hood, young sergeant, WIC, working dominoes after work. So, working the motor pool all day and then jump into your cool Domino's outfit and go deliver pizza to people who don't care about you.
Then the DOD, or now DOW, will put out a report that they did an analysis on pay, and you're at par, according to that analysis.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I commissioned.
Yeah.
I didn't really want
Smart
to.
move.
I didn't want to, though.
It was smart.
I loved it. Like, and it was like not even going to work every day.
Yeah.
It was fun. Everybody treated you like the operators, enablers. Everybody just treated each other. The families were like this. But like we needed a
It's
life.
like taking care of yourself, right, at that point.
And so I commissioned, and I didn't really want to be in the Navy as an officer because I didn't want to go on a ship still. I talked to the Marine Corps a little bit, but I mean, I was 32 at the time, I think.
Do they have a cutoff for their like Mustang program or something?
Yeah. They said something about a waiver though for too many kids. It's like, what?
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm good. So I go to the Army, and they're like, oh yeah, sure.
So how did you do a branch transfer?
Yeah,
did you have to like separate?
Kind of. So it was like what do they call
it?
Like
green to gold?
Yeah. No, but yes and no.
But
it was blue to green to gold.
Yeah.
Really?
Kinda. That's the best way to explain it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I had to, here you go. I had to go to Army basic training.
Yeah. But you came out as a sergeant while you waited to go through OCS?
Yeah. I went there. They said, wear your NCO rank, keep everything on. You get your own room at basic training. I literally got to go in my own room and just do my own thing. I had my phone the whole time.
Honestly, a basic training attachment.
I get it, and to some degree and everything, that you've got to be able to get acclimated, accustomed to everything that the Army does. It's different from other services. Sure. Can you not put somebody through a 2-week crash course and give it to them by a PowerPoint, or log into this website? And
no. Hey, we had the same ones. We had inserts, is what we called them. Inserts.
And you guys probably did even different marching because I don't know much about the Navy, but I know the Marine Corps. You're doing obliques and everything, so we don't even have that shit in the Army.
The Army doesn't march.
No,
so
no, 2015. When you went through training, when did you go through?
With the Army or the
Army?
Navy?
No, the Navy.
Army.
Oh, you're talking about the Army. You're going to the Army.
Yeah.
Army was 2019.
2019. Yeah. I mean, drill and ceremony was kind of meh.
It was weird.
So where did you go through basic at? Where they made you?
Jackson.
Oh.
Okay.
And from Jackson, I went to OCS. I was the first graduating class of OCS for COVID. We were the first COVID class.
OCS at Jackson?
No, here, Ben.
No,
Benning.
over at Olson Hall.
Do they only have one OCS there?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't know
from
that.
the airborne barracks.
That makes
moved them over
perfect
to the big Olson Hall area. Were you still in the airborne barracks, or were you up in the big red buildings? You know, the big long ones.
I think it was there.
You know where the subway is at?
It's like white. Yeah, it's like white with the red top.
That would have been
because the airborne barracks were right across the street from us.
Yeah.
They used to be. You'd have OCS. So my dad went to OCS in the 70s, and they were there right by the jump towers. They moved them up to Olson Hall is actually the front building of that big long series of buildings. So that's where the NCOES used to be over there, but they moved OCS over there.
I didn't know that.
So you went through by the jump towers then? Okay.
Well, I mean,
they're all by the jump towers still.
Oh,
it's just a different building by the jump towers. Yeah. Anyway,
I didn't pay attention too much to OCS there.
He was
to be honest
Knox.
with you.
OCS.
No,
OCS.
I was there for 5 years, 6 years at Benning, but didn't care about OCS.
No, we had to. That was dumb.
You had to wear ascots. I know that.
Yeah, and then we had to wear. We had to take T-shirts and cut them into masks.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, it was dumb.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep us in the field for like 4 weeks to learn stuff, not just to do like an FTX, but to just sit there and do class because of COVID. It was absolute bonkers. Yeah,
that's wild.
Good times.
So your entire OCS period was during COVID?
Half of it.
Oh,
yeah.
How was that transition out of it? Once you came through the COVID that's what I mean, transition out of COVID while still OCS. What changed? I mean,
so
now you don't have to wear a mask in the classroom. That was about.
Well, no. So I was in OCS when COVID started.
Yeah.
So Benning got those regulations hit halfway through my OCS.
So he started non-COVID.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then we graduate 6 feet apart. I had to pin myself, which I had this whole ceremony planned out with my uncle, being enlisted, first salute and everything. Had this whole thing. It was completely taken away. There's some more resentment there. Don't like that word, but it was there. 6 feet away out in the parade, do my thing. And they're like, okay, congratulations. I was like, that's it, really? So, I don't know. I feel like my Army time just kind of started off salty.
Where'd you go from there?
Yeah. Where did they send you? Well, wait. What did you branch?
Where did they branch you? Let me put it that way.
So this ties into EFMP though. So I was in EOD pre-select.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you wanted that, or
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yes,
there's always a but with EOD. Yeah.
Well, there's a but because of the EFMP.
Yep. So I, NSW time, Marine Corps time, I'm like, it's brought to my attention, hey, EOD would be a really good fit for you. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And so, I mean, I have letters of recommendation. Easy. They're like, yes, absolutely. But you have to branch ordnance. And I did. That's fine. All right, cool. I go to Fort Lee, Virginia, and then I go through basic, Bullock.
Yeah.
And now it's just logistics Bullock. It's not ordnance supply and quartermaster or whatever. Quartermaster, what's the other one?
It's all
It's all one.
Yeah.
And then I go to phase 1 EOD. Phase 1 EOD is intense. It's a lot of learning. And like, I was fine, college grad. Like,
is that down in Florida, the phase 1?
Not yet.
That's phase 2.
Phase 2 is in Florida.
Okay.
And so I go to take my first written test. And I failed it by one question. You have to get an 80. And I got a 78. And I looked at my wife, Amanda, and I said, I'm not going to be able to do this because our oldest was having meltdown after meltdown. There were sleepless nights. And I said, I think it's important that we just get her somewhere that is beneficial to all of us. And so I dropped. I just walked right in and I said, I'm going to do this for my family. And I dropped. And Branch hit me up, like, where do you want to go? And we said Texas or Washington. They send us to Fort Hood. So we go to Fort Hood, and it was all right. The unit sucked, but it was okay. She got plugged into a lot of good people and good help, good resources, good doctors, but still it didn't fix anything. But that's kind of how we ended up in Fort Hood.
2020-ish?
That was in 20. We got there during the middle of Vanessagian.
I was just getting ready to ask you that question.
Yeah, that's when we got there. I could tell you everything about it. I know the barracks that she slept in.
Really? Yeah. What terrible, terrible story.
That's when Ian was down there too.
Yeah, it was. That's right. Yeah, we have another guy, a couple episodes from you, that is going to talk about the same time period.
Yeah, as a leader, that was the worst time ever. Even as a butter bar, brand new. Everything that you did, we were walking on eggshells.
Yeah. Yep. That was, yeah.
You were first Cav, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What brigade were you in?
Sustainment.
Okay.
Yeah. Motor pool was right next to 3CR.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got really put under the microscope, big time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody, I think, we're on the outside at this point, and everybody looking at Fort Hood like, what the, because it just seemed to be one story after another. So it's like, what the hell's going on in the water at Fort Hood?
It was just peeling back that proverbial onion. I mean, and I say this I don't say this lightly. You could do that at almost any military installation. I'm not just going to say Army, any military installation, and you find that one thing that has the ability to rip the entire infrastructure apart. It just happened to be Fort Hood. It's large. It's got a lot of nuances that may be different than a smaller installation. And when you start ripping things apart, you've got a lot to rip apart because it is such a large organization.
Some may not remember or know this story, especially if you're from a different branch or something. So, I mean, she was an E4, I think it was, a specialist. And I think it was her boyfriend and girlfriend.
No, so it was a guy in her unit. I think he ran the arms room.
Oh, that's right.
And he ended up killing her. I'll tell you what really set
it was also a girl involved.
It was his girlfriend.
His girlfriend. Okay.
So what set it off though, because when they started digging, they started seeing professionalism out the window. NCOs, connected with her, that were making inappropriate remarks. And so now we've turned this thing into a sharp incident, right? That was before they even knew that this kid in the army
sexual harassment
done everything. So they pulled all that out before they even got to what actually happened. So you have all of that happening. That goes over the entire installation. That was before they even solved the murder.
Yep.
No, it was heightened. So I can't imagine being there, especially trying to be a leader, holding the unit together with everybody and all the scrutiny and basically saying Fort Hood's terrible, all this kind of stuff. Just
one of my mentors, one of the guys that had the biggest impact in my career was a division command sergeant major at the time that all that happened. I mean, I'm talking about this guy almost literally walked on water his entire career. And just wrong place, wrong time, because he walked into that thing and walked right out.
Yeah. And COVID was still going on.
Yeah.
And so we had leaders that were saying, you have to wear your mask and you have to you have to get the shot. Well, I could stir up drama with this one. Like, battalion commanders, you have to get your shot, and then it tells your soldiers that you're a good leader. Well, what happens if they don't believe in it or they don't agree with it? Like, you're asking people to, get what I'm saying? Like,
dump their sword. Yeah.
Man, looking back at that time period altogether,
right? It's crazy.
If I had gone back in time 30 years ago and said, hey, this is what's going to happen in the future, you'd
not on the bingo card.
I got one for you. So during that same time, my wife's parents, well, her mom and stepdad died from COVID.
Were they intubated?
Yeah. So they got pneumonia.
Yes.
Yeah. So on top of
Man.
Everything else, I'm getting ready to go be the OIC for, I think it was just a cruise surf range. And I get a phone call from her grandma saying, hey, parents died. Well, actually, first her mom died. Stepdad died a week later. Both of the same thing. And I had to call her and tell her that.
Oh my God.
I had to wake her up. Yeah. And so I leave the motor pool because we're getting ready to roll out, and I go back home. And then we go to Washington. And that's kind of when things, I don't like to use the word go downhill, but that's kind of where the both of us started to feel the tension, the traumas coming out, you know, especially with dealing with the special needs stuff too. She, I don't want to say went to a dark place, but I mean, she's grieving.
Yeah.
And here I am not understanding how to control my own emotions, let alone be there for someone else. I'm trying my best and like, yes, I'm here for you, but I don't know how to show it. And so we come back and, you know, things just kind of, guess what the Army did after that? They sent us to New York.
Drum?
No,
Oh.
to be recruiting XO.
Oh my God.
Guess what happened after 6 months of being, no, 4 months after being on Long Island, right? Middle of Long Island. And they went through the whole EFMP process. I hope someone from HRC is listening to this. They sent us there. And 4 months later, we are not getting medical anything for our child. She has one doctor that luckily can continue giving her her medication. We have to do a compassionate reassignment. Have to. Guess where we go?
I can't even imagine.
Fort Bliss.
Fort Hood.
They send you back to Hood.
Yep.
Because that's where they saw probably that you got care.
And I tried for JBLM. I tried. They threw out the excuse that there's no logistics officer positions available, and I call BS because like everybody needs one. So,
And what rank were you at the time?
the first lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, nobody was wanting to go to Hood and trying to fight that issue, but so they PCS you for 4 months. They realize they put you in the wrong assignment, and then they PCS your family again. This is major trauma after just getting done burying her parents.
Yeah. And so mind you, each move, special needs child, her name is Scarlett, she regresses.
Sure. I mean,
So every move,
you're
there's a
adjusting.
regression.
You don't have
Yeah.
to be special needs to regress from every move. Yeah, that's
that's a lot to put your family through, young kids.
through EFMP. Why the program exists partially is that as you start to transition, they look and see and then make sure that there is continuous medical care for said individual at the next place you go. And if there isn't, then they take that off of the list of places to PCS to.
They looked. They said they looked.
Just out of curiosity, how many programs or how many bases have programs?
Well, I mean,
Not
at that
all,
point,
or all?
at that point, you got to look outside the base, especially for stuff like
It's
that.
a radius. It's a mile radius,
Yeah.
like 60 miles
Okay.
around the installation.
And they had nothing in New York?
Oh, they did. So all of Long Island, I won't say all, most of Long Island didn't take TRICARE. They wanted us to reach into our pockets and pay out of pocket. That's $1 million or at least. So then they found one, and it was in Manhattan. And we're like, you realize how long of a drive that is? Like, it's 2 hours. So you're asking my wife to drop what she's like, bring the kid 2 hours, right? Like, we've got other kids too. We've got a life. No, that's not happening. They wanted to move us to Staten Island. No, that's not happening. So
This is USAREC was wanting to do that, recruiting command.
Yeah. So then they move us back to Hood. We go back to Hood. We go back to Hood knowing that we're going to move again, because I had already put in, I had already inquired about going SVAB, because I was either going to go 160th or SVAB. I wanted some predictability because I'm tired of moving. I'm done at this point. I'm burnt out. I'm mentally gone. I hate that. I was done.
Well, having worked with, I'm assuming, you tell me if I'm wrong, having worked with the Naval Special Warfare Command and SOCOM and stuff, you kind of figured 160th at least would give you an opportunity to get back into that environment where they take care of family. Not that other conventional units don't, but I mean, it's different.
It's done differently.
Yeah.
160. So I put in 2 packets, SVAB packet, because I'm pre-command at this point. I haven't done company command time. And so I put in a 160th packet and I put in an SVAB. And I told Amanda, I said, whichever one picks me first is the one I'm going with. I thought it was going to be 160th. 160th came back and said, man, application looks great. We want to take you, but if we put your packet, and I appreciated them saying this.
Yeah.
If we put your packet in line with someone else's packet, but that someone else is post KD time, like they did their command time, like we have to take them. I was like, well, okay, like what do I say to that? Like, all right, cool. So then SVAB comes around and they're like, yeah, like you want to go to selection next month? And I was like, sure.
What year?
This would have been 22 probably.
It was September 11th of 23.
23.
Yeah.
Because I was a recruiting sergeant major for SFAB.
You didn't pull him in there.
No, not at that point. When did you put your packet in? Because I was out of there in March of 22.
I mean, had to have been a couple months before that.
Yeah, no,
I put it in, and then they got back to me and like, yeah, you're gonna have to go to the enlisted selection. And I was like, all right, like been through a lot of other crappy stuff. Let's go. So
enlisted selection.
It's not that bad.
No.
Why did they put you through it? I'm not familiar with the security force.
It's just they should have just said selection. Where'd you went through Bragg?
No,
or did you go to Benning?
It was Benning.
Yeah.
It was the week long. I loved it though. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I liked
that's
being
when they
there.
moved it down there.
It was nice. Like it was nice because I took the rank off and everything, and I just got to be one of the boys.
Yep.
Like I kind of missed it.
What was it? Kelly Hill?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They were in the process of changing it because we started it on Kelly Hill when first SFAB opened. They moved it to Bragg once they opened up the command, and then there was Sergeant Major Tickle was trying to get it back to looking like a solid assessment and selection program. Moved it back to Benning because then you also have the advisor course was down there also. I think they were running it.
I just did that a year ago.
Yeah. That's another one. You taking the rank off there too?
No.
That's
like a gentleman's course.
Yeah. Tony, it changes.
When you got done with the selection and everything, where did you end up getting assigned within the SBAP?
All right. So it continues. So I go to it, right? And I do great. I was in really great shape. I mean, I trained for it. I wanted it.
Yeah.
And in our minds, my wife and I, we were thinking, I'm gonna pick 5th SVAP so we can go back to Washington.
JBLM.
Yep, JBLM. That's where we're from. We need support. We need that family support. Man, I could feel getting emotional already. I go through selection, right? Go to the last day. They're like, yep, you're selected. I expected it, right? And then they're like, yep, 5th is tracking you, all that stuff. I go back to Hood and I'm told that I have to stay in my position, which was a maintenance platoon leader. Yeah, I go from being an XO back down to being a PL because HRC, thank you. I have to stay there a year because they don't want to send us to JBLM and then me to Triple C. Yeah. So then I know. So then we're like, okay, if we want predictability, and this is me being stubborn a little bit, then I'm just going to stay at Hood. She's got what she needs here. She'll just stay plugged in.
3rd SFAB's right there.
3rd SFAB's right there. I'll just go to Triple C and come right back. We don't have to sell, or we were renting a house at the time because we had already sold our house before to go to New York.
But so the drop down to being the maintenance officer wasn't it was more so you had left the XO position, so they backfilled that then,
They
right?
basically put me wherever they needed me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what? I was just trying to think of like the Army strategy here of managing you at this point.
No, they gave up.
At that level, there's not a lot of strategy.
No, it's
a lot of commanders.
I tried, I wanted that progression,
Yeah.
but no. They were like, compassionate reassignment, you're going to go where we want you to go. It's like, all right, cool. Got it.
So third SFAB.
Yeah.
Back to, well, it was first cav. I had to go to the air cav. So I go back to first cav, go to the selection thing, and it was great. So I sit there waiting, knowing I'm going to SFAB, but I wait a year. What happens from the year, in that year time that I have to go to selection, be the PL, and then go to the CCC, Captain's Career Course? That's when the car accident happens.
Yeah. So talk about that, because that really was damaging. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 years yesterday, I actually went to visit the site yesterday with my wife and kids. It's pretty emotional. I was going to PT in the morning because I'd always go to the gym before, because as leaders, we don't ever get to really PT. We have to babysit. I'm just going to say how it is. And so I would always go to the gym beforehand to get a really good workout in before I had to go to formations and call people because they slept in. And 5:15 in the morning, I was going down one of these just streets, like the airfield at Fort Hood.
West Fort Hood? Or the actual airfield?
Actual airfield. Okay. There's that gate right there off W.S. Young.
Yeah.
I was going that way to go to Warrior Way Fitness Center, and so like I'm going down the road, and it's just me because it's early in the morning. Guy pulls out into my lane instead of the turning lane, and we hit head on, like dead head on. And like there's pictures, like I got videos. It was insane. I pancaked him. His vehicle kind of like did this spinning around bit, and mine, I don't remember it happening because I was just knocked out. But mine ended up in this little field to the right. Don't know how it got there, but I remember before the impact happened, my truck turned, like just enough to where when we made impact, I shot that way. I didn't do it. Not at all. I didn't do anything. I just remember getting hit. I remember the lights, because in these new vehicles, I had a 23 Silverado, and the lights started, the whatchamacallit, the
collision
sensor,
awareness.
yes. It started going off, and then that's all I remember from that point. I don't remember getting out of my truck. My wife says I like Hulk smashed the door open. I don't remember. I just remember talking to the EMT guys. And
this is off post?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right before you get to the gate.
But that started my whole med board process. I'm going through the medical retirement now, 10 herniated discs up my spine, my neck's jacked up, my hips were all messed up. I can't run anymore. I can't ruck, can't wear body armor. No shit, it was damaging. And so then that's where all the mental health stuff kicked in. And like, I don't mean to jump right to that, but that's where I had all these underlying things, right? From being this high performing athlete, but I was this high performing athlete with this father in my life who was like berating me whenever I never did anything good in his eyes. That's how I saw it. So I had little boy Ryan in my head with everything that I did. And so now add this another trauma event to my life when things are already shitty. I went dark. As someone who trains their whole life, right? Like I was saying, I couldn't do anything. Like it's all taken away from me. And so, yeah, I went through treatments, and I went to the emergency rooms. I got injections. I didn't have to have surgery yet, but it's being talked about. I mean,
are you in traction or anything, or?
No, not yet. So
Yeah.
right now I think I'm going to go for my second round of injections.
You're saying right now? I mean,
like actively.
Wow.
Yeah. I got appointments like next week. So yeah, it all just happened, and like I tried to push through it. I went on temporary profile. I asked her to take me off temporary profile so I could at least make the minimum numbers of the ACFT so I could go to triple C, because in my mind I had to prove a point to myself and I had to prove a point to everyone else that I had to keep doing this. I can't just get out. I have to make this money. I have to provide this, where I could have just taken a seat back and said, all right, like, what is this going to look like when I'm 45, 55 years old? And not good. But I continued to push my body, got injured again.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, male, supporting family, you're in the military, you're also at Fort Hood, you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are telling you that you will be this way or we're going to think of you differently. And so you're doing everything in your power to not be on that profile, to be just like everybody else, regardless of how much damage you're doing to your body now that's going to impact you later on in life.
P1, P2 has a different thing than P3 though. Because I mean, if you're temporary, then they think, oh, you're coming back, come back into the war fight, keep, pushing through and everything. But as time starts going on, you're absolutely right. At that point, then command starts looking at it and going, all right.
Well, I hate to say this, having sat in these commanding staffs and understanding, and I actually had some very compassionate commanders and command sergeants majors that looked at P2, P3 very seriously. But you have those people that ride that stuff that makes it harder on everybody else with legitimate injuries. Yeah. And so everybody is skeptical of what you have going on, especially back injuries.
Just so everybody knows, P1, P2, more temporary. It's 2 can be permanent. 3 becomes more severe permanent, longer term.
Yeah. And then that puts you in a place where if you can't deploy, the Army doesn't need you.
And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did that come about? When was it that when you went for your last medical review, they said, hey, we're going to award you a P3 profile?
So I just found out about the P3. Yeah. So this whole movement happened. SVAB deactivates and then they're put on hold because they're going to go forward. And I'm like, all right, I go to SRP. I'm a P2, but they're like, yeah, you're P2, but you can still go. You just got to watch what you do and all this. And I was like, okay. And then I don't remember what caused this, but I went to go see our primary doctor that we have. And she was like, hey, I don't think you're deployable. And I was like, what? I never heard that.
That's like a kick in the...
Yeah. Right in the nards.
And that was part of, I wanted SVAB to do that. I wanted to go and she said that. And I was like, well, why? She's like, you'd be a really good candidate for medical retirement because you're just not getting any better.
And was she thinking of that's more like an exciting thing? Hey, we can give you...
I didn't know anything about it.
For a lot of people, that's what they're looking for is for a doctor to be like, hey, you're an MEB candidate.
Yeah, I get it. But at the same token, if you're a hard charger and an individual that's wanting to excel in their career, hearing P3 non-deployable means it's all over.
Yeah.
Yet another...
Oh, yeah.
Another cross to bear, another burden, whatever.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what... So at that time, too, oldest child is getting worse. Yeah. So... I take that home and I'm not processing it very well. And I bring it to my wife. And now this opportunity for us to go to Washington for her, it's the right call. And the signs were put in front of me, like God said go and I said no. I had gotten these coaching opportunities in Texas and baseball was coming back into my life. And it was like, this is great. Like, I finally feel like I've got this purpose with baseball again. But this military thing over here is completely falling apart. And, it was me denying it again. And so finally, that's when, she was like, okay, like if you're you're going to stay here, then like she's done. And so then it's like, she wants to divorce me, and now I'm there. So
How many years at this point married?
13. Yeah, 13. And all of them I've battled mental health, and I've battled, I guess we call them anger problems. I don't want to call it anger problems. I want to call it generational trauma, because this shit has gone from my great-grandfather to my grandfather to my dad to me. And I said, screw this, like it ends with me. So yeah, there was, and like before I even go anywhere else, like I love my wife to death, and she's still my wife. Like we're just separated kind of, like yeah, we're still on the fresh side of things with this. But I get it. Like there was a day where, I mean, most of us know what it's like to have like a panic attack or an anxiety attack or like a PTSD moment. And it was happening. And I don't care who I piss off when I say this. I had an appointment with behavioral health, and I went to the appointment, referral and all. And I go there, and I sit in the waiting room for 2 hours filling out paperwork, and I am a mess, like shaking, vivid tears coming out, like I could have fallen on the floor and just started shaking. And I kind of held it together, filling out paperwork, crying on the paper. And then I don't remember his name, but he was some E3. And he brings me back, and he's kind of asking me what's going on. I was like, well, you know, I was an asshole, and sorry, but I let emotions get the best of me, and I wasn't physically abusive or any of that, but my actions definitely were emotionally, I mean, they were damaging. I could see where, I mean, how I could come off as a complete jerk and scary. And I kind of I laid it all out for this kid. I call him a kid because he looked like a kid. And I wish I would have got his name, because at the end, he prayed with me. He just sat there and prayed with me. And I know that he wasn't supposed to do that, because he said, hey, sir, excuse me, I hope you don't mind, but I'd like to pray with you, because I'm a believer too. And I was like, I got the goosebumps. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's all I feel like I have at this point right now. I mean, I was rock bottom. And here's the frustrating part. I go back out to the waiting room, and then he comes and gets me and brings me back to the office with some captain. Don't even remember his name. And he looked like a soup sandwich in his uniform. Whatever, don't judge. But he says, hey, I hear you're going through this hard time. I'm going to refer you out for these medications.
Jeez, man.
And I was like, I wanted to yell at him, and I wanted to say, no, I just want to talk to somebody. I just want to talk to you. I just want you to hear me. No. Well, we don't have any openings right now. And the SVAB's psych was gone. Like, he PCS'd. He was like, we're going to refer you out. I was like, fine. So I leave, I go get in my truck, and I'm sitting there shaking, crying, don't know what to do. And I just go home. And as I'm going home, I drive by the chapel, the main post chapel at Hood. And that's where my kids and I have been going to Sunday services just for a little bit. I needed God back in my life. And I just pulled in. I didn't think twice. I just pulled in. Don't even think I put my blinker on. And I parked, and I just walked in, and I don't know where this courage came from, but I walked in the main doors of the chapel, and I looked at the first person I saw, which was a civilian guy to the left, and I said, I need to speak to someone right now. And he could tell, it was shaking. I was about to just fall down and have a panic attack. He goes across the way to this family life center they got there, and comes back, brings me over there, and a chaplain in there, his name's Dan Moen, and I'm name dropping him for sure, because I know he's going to listen to this. Dan Moen pulls me into this conference room, not even an office, just a conference room, closes the blinds. And the moment he closes them and closes the door, I completely fall over to the ground and I'm a mess. Just tears everywhere, no words spoken, just letting me have a moment. And then once I was able to kind of come back, he talked to me and it felt like someone was finally listening. You know, like this goes past military time. This goes all the way till I was 5. And I didn't know it until now. A lot of us don't. And, you know, he just identified it. And he was like, hey, I got this program and it's called EMDR. I had no clue what it was. None. And he's like, it's EMDR and it's really, really specific to people with childhood trauma. And it works with military PTSD as well. But what happens is throughout the process of therapy, you relive these moments and you rewire your brain and you rewire your nervous system to respond to these moments you've already been through, but in a healing way. And I'm 6 weeks in and it's like a complete different person. It's like I woke up one day and my wife and I still live in the same house. And I woke up one day and I looked at her and I was like, I feel different. I'm looking at you, the same you, but it's like I see you. I see her. I see her for who she is. And gosh, I beat myself up every day because I went 13 years of just being dark.
Yeah.
And it's hard for her because now like she loves it, but she still has years of me being a jackass.
Secondary post-traumatic stress. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that what you went through in those 13 years and all that time prior definitely has transferred to not only her, but it does impact your children as well.
Yes.
And so tell us now that you know, what is the acronym and what was the treatment?
Okay, so I know the E and M. It's I movement, but the D and the R I can't remember.
It's a medical term, and I can't remember it either.
I don't know.
Somebody has this device.
Yeah, let's look at it. But it's so you kind of dive into like safety modes, right? So if I'm sitting here and one of them will be like rubbing, if I'm rubbing my hands like this, that's one of them, because if you rub right here, it'll target instantly part of your nervous system.
Okay, so where are you rubbing? Just for people who don't see this.
Yeah, so between your hand, like you have that little muscle between your thumb.
Between your thumb and your forefinger.
Yeah, and if you rub that and you get real deep in there, it'll target part of your nervous system and instantly help you just stay grounded. And that's my thing, is staying grounded is vital.
I got so it's eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing, which is a structured, evidence-based psychotherapy designed to alleviate distress from traumatic memories.
Yep. 100% works.
Yeah.
Because I'm only 6 weeks in, and this is going to go all the way until maybe June, July.
How intensive is it?
Just for people who are watching, we're taping this in March, in the beginning of March. So when your episode is going to release at the end of your treatment, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around that time frame.
I was given the opportunity to do it. I always push it off because they say how intensive it is, how much it's going to bring out of you. And so people are apprehensive about starting it because they know that they're about to dig into everything that we've been running from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. That's it.
That's what it is.
Very intense.
But that's what a lot of guys are going through, and they do the ibogaine and everything else. I mean, they're dealing with the similar type of trauma. So why do they go that direction and not do something like this? Maybe they have. I know guys that we talked about at Belford stuff, have done stellate ganglion block, did the magnetic treatment, and then last resort, go to other things. But I'm so happy to hear that it's helping you the way it is.
This on top of putting my life into my faith in God's hands. Like I So we have a house in Texas, and it's a couple acres. And we have this field, right? And we call it our little pasture. And, I just walked out there and I got this little prayer spot and I just collapsed. And I said, God, like, I surrender. I've got nothing left because, I felt like I was getting kicked in the balls over and over and over again. And sometimes I still feel like that. But with EMDR and Dan's therapy that I'm going through mixed with my faith and it's, I don't know, the best way to describe it is calming. I haven't felt peace like this in my whole life. I haven't felt pressured to be this athlete that, like, I'll be real, like, my grades weren't that good. Why? Because I had this unneeded pressure from Dad saying, hey, you need to be the best at sports. Well, yeah, sure. That got me these college scholarships and that got me to certain places in life. But what about my academics? Now as a grad student at A&M, Gig'em, love it. I love it because I'm actively engaged in school. Like, I've got a 4.0. Never, ever in my life.
Yeah, I think the way you could summarize that is you're present now.
Yes.
Whereas
so
before.
much. Oh, that's perfect.
He's present, he's intentional, but it's for you.
Yes.
And it's not for anybody else.
What was the tell us the eye treatment? You were saying it off air, so get into what it is with light eye treatment.
So they don't bring out the light bar until like week 3 or 4. You have to go for the first like 2-3 weeks. It's safety measures. So you can't dive into these memories until you know how to control yourself in them. So before we got to the light bar, we had to learn safety measures like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, where you pick like 5 things you see, 4 things you feel, 3 things you hear, 2 things that you smell, and 1 thing that you taste. So if you do that when you're having like a panic attack, it will ground you, like completely ground.
So you always, you pick those things, those 5 things, and then every time you have an instance,
yeah, there's others.
It's got to
reflect to the 5.
It's got to be in the moment, though.
Yeah, in the moment. There's other things.
Right.
Like, there's other things you could do. That one takes a long time. I don't really resort to that one. I like the whole thumb, like, rubbing, right, because it hits instant. But box breathing, that's part of it as well. That's a safety measure. You don't count your breaths. You breathe to your heartbeats. So when you take a breath in, you don't count 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you breathe to your heartbeats, and then you breathe out to your heartbeats. That one, I like that one a lot.
That one would get in my head.
Yeah.
I'd be like thinking too much. Yeah, that would like.
That's
what it does is it takes the thinking away from where you were at.
It does.
It brings you to the here and the now.
I'd feel like I'd probably start hyperventilating at that point.
So they say to fix that, they say you pretend you're pushing your air out of a straw. It's weird, but it works. But yeah, that's it, because we're shifting what side of the brain we use, because one side we're reactive, and unless we switch it in like intentionally, it's not going to go.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep reacting,
and we don't know how to do that without help.
Yep.
I'm sure during the episode with Dr. Kate Pate, we talked about this because she's the type of person that probably would have got into this type of treatment and talked about its effects. So there may be more of a medical perspective from this. You're the patient perspective, but might be more of a medical perspective. So that episode might be a good one to go back for me even to go back and listen to. But anyway, please proceed. So they first get you prepared for what's getting ready to happen. They want to make sure that when it does happen, you now know a number of different ways to calm yourself and get down to, like you said, grounded.
Yep. And once, in my case, it's Dan, once he felt I was good, he brings out the light bar. And so the light bar is this like T-looking thing with an LED light that just goes like this. And you've got it's hooked up to these handles, like, you know, like video game handles, but just small, one for each hand. And every time the light goes to this side, this one will vibrate. And every time it goes to this side, this one will vibrate. And so this whole time, like, I'm sitting there and going like this, right? And it's vibrating. But what it's doing is we're using both sides of our brain.
Is that for the electrical pulse?
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing of electricity, the body, you know, we've talked about this before, about people getting grounded even by taking your shoes off and getting on the grass or go touch a tree. It's real shit. I mean, like,
yeah,
right.
It is amazing how it feels. But when you get to that point, so like with this light bar, with the vibration handles, I remember that day, the first time I had that session. Now, we didn't dive real deep, but what we did was, you know, we kind of picked easy memories to go into that might have been frustrating, but we could peel the onion a little bit. And after my session, I remember feeling just that calm peace about me. But it was different because I remember driving home thinking, like, my senses are different. Like, I can hear things better. I can smell. I just feel I feel present. I feel in the moment more. And yeah, just
that's that other side of the brain.
Calming effect. I'd never felt that. I'd always just been on guard all the time, tense all the time. Didn't open my heart up to anybody all the time. So like now, if it's too little too late, all right, fine. But if like God's plan for having Amanda want to divorce me is to get me this help to fix me for me, okay, I hear you. Like, but we just started. So this last session, this was the hardest. So this is the intense part of it. We did a timeline. So the timeline is basically from youngest till now of these traumatic events that are happening or that happened that are still there that we got to relive.
So you do this through conversation before getting the machine.
So
no, wow,
that's what I was going to ask.
So we started without the machine.
Okay,
but then I was feeling it. So like part of one of our sessions was you feel what your body feels like. So we go through these memories and you intently close your eyes and you will feel in your body where you're tense at. Because each memory, the body remembers. And I didn't, he could see it. I couldn't. And as we're going through the timeline and I'm reliving these moments, I am reliving them, talking them out loud, crying, reliving them. And there was one really bad one that involved the police coming to our house. And
as a child.
And that's probably the most traumatic, maybe side by side with the car accident. But yeah, he looked and all he did was he left the light bar on the side where I'm sitting. I didn't have to look at it, but he gave me the handles and he turned it on. And they just start vibrating. And I'm just sitting there like, okay. And it's instant. It's just instant. Like, you go from your heart going to just,
wow,
just like that.
Really? Like the bottom falling out?
Completely. There's one of our other safety measures is this is funny. It sounds funny, but it's real, is your happy place. So throughout EMDR, you develop your happy place. So like as a joke, right? As a kid, you might have a freak out moment like, oh, sure, go to your happy place, find your happy place.
Yeah.
Well, in EMDR, that's real. You actually have a place in your mind, your subconscious, that if you go back to that place, it will completely ground you.
So we're talking about two sayings. One, go touch dirt when you're upset, and then go to your happy place.
Yeah, it is a real thing.
Wow.
You can see it, you can smell it. You can almost feel it.
Yep.
I mean, all these positive things are all these attributes are part of the. I've done a lot of research and I've dabbled into it, but yeah, it's everything is.
You said you walked away from it,
to here.
I have nightmares though.
Yeah,
bad
from it.
Yeah. So like I have memories coming back that I thought I blacked out. I blacked out a lot. I'd say I blacked out about 50% of my life.
But you're wow,
Have you
shit.
tried?
That's a lot,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
But so you're still in it though, and there is an outcome, which you mentioned is going to be like June, July. So you're just trying to help our listeners understand you're going to go through some shit here.
Oh yeah, I'm in the thick of it.
Yeah, he's in it now.
Yeah, I am in the thick of it, and it's good. It's hard, but I know that it's forever for me. I can tell already, just being 6 weeks into it, I can feel it, and it feels good.
Homework. I'm sorry.
You get support, which is great. You know it's there. So you get to do this therapy. It's life-changing, and there's aftercare involved, right? So that gives you a really comfortable feeling. So they can give you all of these things to do on your own, but it's also nice knowing that you've got this support system. And that, I think, that's one of the things that a lot of people are missing, is that continual care, knowing that, because this isn't going to be the end all to be all, unfortunately.
No.
Right?
Yep.
You may have to do it again. You may try something else, but just to know that support's there is very.
He says I'll have to go to, so when I retire,
well, it's y'all. Yeah, she was there with you.
Yeah.
We're moving back to Washington.
Beautiful.
How do you feel about that, though, with disconnecting from the guy who's taking you through this now?
Well, so we'll finish before I leave. So we'll finish it, and then as of right now, it looks like the medical retirement thing will be like summertime.
Okay.
But you know how it is. This whole VA and all that stuff.
I'll be honest. So I got medically retired on a whim, and I had 6 months to get out from Bragg. I was PHA phase 2 when I found out. I thought they were going to clear me, and they were like, "Nope, you are a medical board candidate." And I was like, "Oh, I don't even know you, doc, but thanks." It'll go quickly, and I'm trying to give you some positives about this. You'll leave knowing your rating. The last day you're supposed to know what your rating is. You'll leave a lot more prepared than most people are when they retire on their own. So that's a blessing. My mother-in-law is also a Pueblo. So as much as we like to talk bad about the VA, I'm trying to give you some positives, which is they do set up your appointments. They get you to go through, right? It's
good, because I'm freaking out a little bit.
Well,
I have no clue what's ahead of me.
We can talk about it after this, but I'm just trying to give you some positives that come from this, and then the afterwards.
Yeah, you don't need, that's the thing that's they're trying to postpone everything, I'm sure, because they want you to go through the treatment, but you also don't need the added stress adding to the treatment process.
We could talk about this after.
Yeah, and the goal, his goal, Dan's goal, is to we're going to line this up before to finish before. So this, I think it's tomorrow. Thursday. My next appointment Thursday. We're now doing 2-hour appointments.
That's great.
So it's good. My kid's gonna get locked into her facility on Wednesday this week, and then we'll kind of attack different problems in different lanes where we can. So
I'm gonna give you my phone number. We're gonna stay tied in, man.
Thank you.
I mean, you can call me on a weekly basis, because everything that you're going through right now, from a military standpoint, I can hand walk you through it. And it might not look exactly the same, but the worst thing that we can do is not know. And so I want to take away some of that fog of war on your way out. So because you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, you don't need that
to wonder. And then the nightmares. Yeah, no, I got you, man.
Yeah.
Well, for your nightmares, have you ever tried a weighted blanket? I know it sounds so weird.
We have one. I have not,
dude.
So we would give our kid one.
All right, so check this out: weighted blanket, or if you still have your sleep system, sleep in a sleeping bag.
Really?
Oh,
it's like, think about when you're a baby. I can totally get it. Think about your baby, how you were wrapped up, you felt calm. That's the way you felt calm, is in your mother's womb, that tightness and everything else. It's the same concept.
All right.
And if you get too warm, put a fan that oscillates or whatever. But I to this day, I've got a weighted blanket at the house. I won't talk about how I sleep, but
please don't.
But
we don't want it up. But that'd be TMI.
But the weighted blanket puts me out, and And what I find is that my dreams have a tendency to be a little more
Vivid?
on the up and up. They're very vivid,
Mm.
but they're more like tying in what's going on now in my life to past experiences, but they're not dark. It's just, and it takes a little bit of time to get used to the blanket or whatever. And then here's another one. I'll just put all my business out there. I sleep with a pillow on my chest. So weird, but it gives me a place to put my arms, and it kind of, it's almost like I'm holding something, and it goes across lengthwise, not like I'm holding a fake body, but lengthwise, and it just gives me kind of like this weighted comfort, almost like this weird protection from whatever, right?
I'll be darned.
It's that weird thing where you don't want to sleep with your foot off the bed because you're afraid that dude underneath is going to grab it.
I'm not there.
It's the same mindset. You know what I'm talking about, Dan, right? You know what I'm talking about, Dan? Because you're the weird guy under the bed. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, these are some things that I learned just from word of mouth or something that just felt right. In fact, I just got my wife started using the pillow more so because she had an appendectomy, and the dogs kept jumping off her stomach.
Ooh.
And so she puts the pillow there, but she's like, "Oh, I see why you do this." Because it's a safe, comfortable feeling.
Just be aware, this is also the guy that you probably listened to a couple episodes ago about the glitter cream. So just be
You
real
hear about that? Yeah, the lotion. Thank you, Bath and Body Works.
So
Make me look like Edward Cullen from Washington.
and we're trying to make light of this too, because we don't want this to be another damn rock in your rucksack at this point. I mean, you've everything you kept describing through your career was just like, here, you need another, to the point where you're probably sitting there going like, all right, thank you, may I have another, because I know it's coming.
Yes,
yeah.
And
100%.
so this is one that, forget about this one, because at least this guy will help you
I got you.
process that part of it as you begin to go through it. So the next steps then, continue the treatment, medical retire. What's the plan?
Move to Washington. Right now we're moving there as a family. Not really. I mean, I don't know the future yet. Like, we just know we're
Take it one
staying.
day at a time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What they say, let go, let God.
Yeah. Right. Like, we're gonna move there as a family. And then I got jobs lined up already. I got baseball coaching jobs lined up already.
Excellent.
Like,
It's things you love. It's you're getting back to your passion.
Yeah.
That's part of being grounded, I'm sure. Because if you're doing the things that you love to do and you're not feeling like, I hate this job, I hate where I'm at, everything I hate, then you're releasing all those other aspects.
Plus you get to impact a younger generation.
There's a grounding aspect here too, though, in going back home, I'm sure.
yeah. So, yeah, for the longest time I was running away from there.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
just
running
being
to
real.
the contact now, man.
Yeah.
That's great though.
Yeah, like I saw all the signs that Spokane, Washington, like, we had to go there. And again, I kept saying no. And finally, it took this crappy moment where probably going to lose the love of my life to...
Maybe not.
I hope not. I don't know, but it hurts.
Let it take its...
But that's your home, right?
Yeah.
And nobody gets to take that away from you.
No.
Now you're learning that now.
Is there a possibility, and I don't, it's probably none of my business, but is there a possibility that maybe she would be interested in going through similar treatment?
I mean, not EMDR. I've like, we're still very close.
Yeah.
And she's with me through this thing, and I appreciate that. But she's also got her own set of trauma.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe, but I don't know if EMDR would work for her because it's only for specific people. Like, I think
Gotcha.
it might actually make a worse impact on her. I think there's a certain set of therapies that would help her more.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were two trauma impacted kids, and I'm going to say kids, like, we're 22, 20, like, and we got married young, and, we lived life together, and we grew, and like, yeah, I was a jackass at times, and I came off as this angry guy, but I wasn't. wasn't, some of the things I did, I didn't know I was doing them. Like, being real, when you get to that side of your brain, you just black out.
I'm sure you mentioned it, so I'm really more repeating it, that the trauma that she felt, although you may be gaining clarity, she's not there yet.
Not even close.
And I only bring that up not for your own personal piece of it, but anytime you have a husband-wife type relationship where the wife struggles, husband struggles with the other side, right? It's not going to happen as quickly for the other person as it does for the one that's got the treatment or had the treatment. And although that they want it to happen quickly, there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of baggage, there's a lot of, so take the process, go through it. You're getting back to a place that maybe you can also feel a sense of being grounded again by going full circle. You're going to have your family unit there as well, that's in the area to help her, a lot. The thing that I'd be curious is, are you creating a blog? Is that part of the treatment or anything? Because I feel like people are going to be listening to this and wanting to know, how's it going? What's happened?
Yeah, so I keep getting, I don't know. I just need the courage to do it. I mean,
a diary is always good, right?
So I journal. I started journaling throughout this process.
Yeah.
And really it's just, affirmations and just being grateful. Like, what was Belfort saying? Being grateful for a hot shower. I think it was him, right? I can't remember. Somebody, I don't know. I've listened to all these things and reading, and like, just be grateful for a hot shower, right? Like, how many people in this world don't have a hot shower? And I'm just grateful now that I still get to wake up in the same house as my wife.
Yeah,
I still get to wake up in the same house as my kids, because if I were to continue spiraling down this path, I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
shit, I don't know if, I'm not gonna say I was suicidal, but there were times where it was like, I wasn't wondering, hey, what, I want to end my life, but I was wondering, I wonder what these certain people would think if I wasn't around.
Yeah.
And I had to identify, hell yeah, that was, you were there.
Yeah. You start getting close in depression to the point where maybe you haven't hit bottom, but you're damn close and you recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
The question is then, what do you do with that? And, so, I feel like you're headed in the right direction here. I can hear it from you. You're passionate about going through the process, which is so important, to be in the moment, to be present now at the point at which you need to be present, is tremendous. I just know, like I said, that people are going to listen to this and want to know, well, what's happened to them? How's it going? It's not that you got to be a military or a civilian influencer, but sometimes, maybe even creating a blog page that becomes like your diary, that just at least shares the things that maybe not you're putting in your diary, but something that says, hey, today's treatment allowed me to do this, or I'm feeling that, or whatever. Hey, this next week's going to be tough, or sometimes can help people who may be getting ready to go through that experience know what to expect.
Yeah.
And that it's not just going to be you're describing now a 6 month process.
The EMDR?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give or take, yeah.
So and then there's homework, then there's after work.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a get a needle shot, like stellate ganglion block, and boom, you're done. Which stellate ganglion block doesn't do that for people for the most part either. It's like a 6 month thing.
We talked about it before. We're a fast food nation. We want everything right here, right now. What you're doing takes work. It takes a lot of effort.
Patience. That's so hard. Oh,
but
that's been the hardest.
Well, especially for you, because
so hard.
I can hear this from your past as well. Patience is not something your father gave you.
No, I didn't learn anything, and
I'm with you. I understand.
Part of this is going back to Washington, is I have to go back and deal with him. And I've called him, and
he's still alive. Okay, I forgot to ask that.
He is, and
which is probably a good thing, by the way.
We're gonna. I want a relationship with my father. I'll put that out there. as much damage as that was done, I want that relationship. I want him to go through. I would love for him to go to EMDR. Boy, it makes me a little nervous though. But I want him to heal because I want that relationship. But I'm not going to go down that road until we're both. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and he's going to have to want it. The first thing will be, does he recognize the trauma that's been passed on, and does he recognize he was a part of that, right or wrong, right? I mean, like you said, it was generational. And then what does he feel like he can do to help through the process? And those will be things that you guys will work through. And I'm sure you're already prepared for, you know, things that may not go as planned. You know, there's not a book. It's not a movie story.
Speaking of that, I have thought about writing a book when all of this is said and done.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to put it on paper.
Yeah.
Just because like it's such a unique story, not to like toot my own horn there, but
no, it's not unique in the sense of generational trauma. You know that.
Yes.
Well, it's unique to you.
Yes.
And it's relatable.
It is.
That's the thing, is that we see so many success stories and everybody's highlight reel that you rarely find the people that have the balls to come out and say, hey, it hasn't been great. Check this shit out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to put it out there, and then being relatable brings people back to being human.
Yeah.
And then maybe our culture has a chance, you know?
I mean,
but don't stress yourself out thinking about it.
Don't worry about that now.
No,
but I love the
It's not
fact
your
that
obligation.
even your journaling right now will help somebody, because you'll think about whether or not it's the right thing to do to be transparent. You're already being transparent right now. I mean, let's be honest. So this is huge. And I really appreciate you coming forward and saying, hey, I think this is something others are experiencing. And then even, you know, your daughter, what you guys went through and the bad in that of management and everything else. There are other military people who are listening to this that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure. I hope the EFMP program in the Army changes. I hope somebody
has to bring it forward, right?
Yes.
They've got to hear stories like this to go, wait, there's a problem, you know, because there's leadership sometimes only gets to see the surface. They're never, unless they're staying around in every moment and experiencing it like you, it takes feedback in order for them to change.
You've seen the command inspection programs. I mean, it's a rubric by binder, and you prep for it. So,
well, of course, they tell you when they're coming for the most part and everything. So,
yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you coming in here, being fully transparent. You're still going through the process, which is difficult in itself. This is a kind of a big deal, and quite frankly, very traumatic, even you having to come here to do this. Does that make sense? Like you fly here, you know what you're getting ready to walk into. There's anxiety. You bring it forward at this table or with friends, you know, around microphones and cameras and everything else, which can be quite, you know, peaking and everything else. But I appreciate you doing it, knowing that, you know, it's as vulnerable as it is.
I got one last question for you. I'm not making light of anything. You still got a good curveball?
Yeah, actually, so my team is at 13U. So this is my team right here, the Bambinos. Yeah. They're at practice probably right now.
Yeah.
This new me
Yeah.
decided to get up on the mound a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I still got it.
How's that movement?
Nice.
Yeah.
I still got it.
Yeah. Kind of, you righty?
Hurt though, real bad.
I was going to say, don't throw it out.
Yeah, it's all good.
It took a good week and a half to really come back and feel like, all right.
Well, it's not a constant thing, and I'm not trying to, jack up your MEB, but the kids got to know that you had it at one point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I definitely.
I just had to ask.
Yeah, my son wants me to try out for the Savannah Bananas.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can dance too.
Yeah. Right. That's what's up, man.
Hey.
We'll get on video after this. Your dance.
They have an entire league of nothing but Savannah banana type.
We're
people.
going May 2nd. We're going when they play the Texas Tailgaters. We're going to College Station too. Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
There you go.
War Eagle.
Okay. All right.
Go Gators. All right.
All right.
So we're going to wrap this thing up. And Ryan, again, man, really appreciate you making it
Thanks
all of this way.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And sharing your story and your journey. And like I said, others are going to want to hear how it progressed. And because your story was this happened and then this happened in not necessarily a positive statement. So everybody's going to want to know, did things stay in a positive trajectory? And that's why I offer, like,
No pressure.
if somebody has a question, though, I need to ask you this before we wrap everything up. Are you on social media and everything? Yeah. I know you followed. Yeah, you followed us. Are you okay to give that information out?
Yeah. So I'll. I mean, so my Instagram used to be public.
Create a new page or something.
Yeah. I'll just make it public again. It's fine.
How about he gives it to you?
Yeah, even if you wanted to create it, well, I've got it, but I'm saying, like, if people have questions, I want to be able to connect you.
Yeah, because I don't really like do Facebook. At one point in time, I was like gonna try this whole MILF influencer thing to reach people, because like mentorship is a big deal. But then they just pissed me off. Like those putting their uniform, like some of them just really irritated me. So I said, I'm backing up.
Well, if you give the account, I think people can still message you, but you can choose whether or not you want to accept it or not. So
you just have to check the unknown mailbox.
They can't see anything you put on there, but they can at least message you.
I mean, so my Instagram's Mr. Righty. So Mr.Reity.
There you go.
It's like my last name.
If somebody is interested in learning more about this, or whatever, you can message Ryan, and Ryan will choose to respond. He may not respond. But
I like it. I think it's a great idea. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I just needed something to give me light the fire to do it.
And you can decide how you want to do it from there. But the last thing I want to do is put another thing on you of like, all right, now.
Thanks, Rob.
It's all good. It's good.
Shit.
Opportunities. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's right.
That's all it is.
That's what I like. You're back grounded and you're thinking positively.
Hey, have to.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.